Hi friends, welcome back to my channel and welcome back to another WW meal prep. Super excited about the recipes that I'm making for my breakfast, lunch, and snacks for the week. So I'm going to show you my breakfast, which is a breakfast calzone, my lunch, which is taco pie, and then I'm also making a dessert item to have throughout the week. So if you want to see what I am having for breakfast, lunch, and snacks and dessert, stay tuned. So the first thing we need to do is prepare our 2-ingredient dough. I like to put mine in the fridge for a little while. I find it a lot easier to roll out. So I'm going to prepare the dough. We'll throw it in the fridge and then we'll prepare all the filling. So here I have 1 1/4 cup of self-rising flour. That is 1/4 cup of flour per calzone. So that way I can divide this into 5 equal sections. And then I have my thawed 0% Greek yogurt. 2-ingredient dough is typically a 1-to-1 ratio of yogurt and flour, but I do not like to add that exact amount of flour because I find that my dough becomes sticky. So I will always add my my yogurt into my flour in smaller increments until I achieve the desired dough consistency that I'm looking for. You can always add more Greek yogurt, you just cannot take away. So I'm going to get this fully combined. You want to make sure that you have all the flour mixed in with the Greek yogurt. And I'm quickly going to add just a little bit of garlic powder. I do often like to season my dough. If you are nervous about the taste of yogurt, if you season your dough, the taste of the tanginess of the yogurt completely goes away and it'll take on the flavor of whatever you season it with. So I went ahead and did garlic powder. I think that'll be really good with the breakfast calzone. So I'm going to get this fully combined and into a ball of dough and we'll put it in the fridge to let it cool. So I've got my dough completely made here. I just wrapped it in some saran wrap and I'm just gonna throw it in the fridge while I make the eggs and things for the inside of the calzones. And then we'll get this cut up and rolled out and our calzones made. While our 2-ingredient dough is cooling in the fridge, I am going to crack and scramble 5 eggs. Again, I want about 1 egg per calzone. So I'm gonna get 5 of these into my bowl. And then I'll add a little bit of spice and a little bit of almond milk just to kind of make it a little bit more creamy. But I'm gonna go ahead and get my 5 eggs cracked and then we'll add in some spices. So I have my 5 eggs here in my bowl, and to my eggs, I'm gonna add my favorite thing in eggs, which is the Trader Joe's onion salt. If you haven't tried this, I would highly recommend it. It's absolutely delicious. And then I'm also going to add in just a little bit of pepper into my eggs as well. I like how that kind of adds that little bit of kick to your eggs. And then lastly, I'm just gonna add some unsweetened almond milk, just enough, about 1/8 of a cup or so, just to get my eggs fluffy. And then I'm just going to whisk these all together with a fork. And I'm gonna get these cooked down, and I want them to cool a bit before I add them to my dough. So it's perfect timing to go ahead and make these the minute you put that dough into the fridge, so they have a time to cook and to cool before you add them to your calzones. So I just pulled my dough out of the fridge. I have my rolling pin here as well as some nonstick cooking spray. This is a hack, you guys. Put this on your rolling pin before you start to roll out your dough and it won't stick. So I'm going to just somewhat roll this out. I don't want to roll it out a lot, only because I need to cut it into equal sections. So I want to make sure that I get 5 equal sections. So however you want to do that, I'm going to go ahead and cut down the middle. Let's do this. That'll give us 4. And then, oh, you know what? Actually, let's do this. Sorry. Retrain thought here. I'm going to go ahead and just roll it out into a worm type of thing here, and as even as possible. I'm just trying to think the best way to get 5. I normally do 4, so it makes it a little easier. So, okay. So let's go as even as we can with 5 equal sections. And you may even want to spray your knife when you're cutting as well. So that looks pretty good. I am going to add just a blip more onto the end there and try to make it more even like a little more. There we go. So I feel like that's 5 pretty equal sections of dough. You can just kind of re-strategize and just plunk extra pieces on. Now we're gonna get these rolled out into calzone shape. So I'm gonna set 4 of them aside, and we're gonna start with this guy here. So we wanna roll this out as flat as we possibly can for our calzone so that we have space to put our filling. So, and then also the thinner the crust, the faster it cooks. So I'm going to cook mine in my air fryer. If you do not have an air fryer, you can cook this in the oven. No problem. You can cook it about 400 degrees or so, and you'll still get a nice crispy calzone. So there's that. Now we're going to start stuffing this with our ingredients. The first ingredient we have is our Jimmy Dean turkey sausage crumbles. I am going to do 1/4 cup or 28 grams per calzone. So you can see here that I have my scale. And this is actually a lot of the turkey crumbles. It may actually even be too much. Oh no, that looks like it's going to be pretty good. Okay, so that is 28 grams of the turkey sausage crumbles. So I'm just going to put that kind of spread out in my calzone. And I would try to keep the majority of your filling on one side so that you can fold this over to create that actual calzone shape. I'm going to put my little bowl back, zero that out. And then I'm going to measure out 1 ounce of the light shredded mozzarella, which is 28 grams. So same thing here. I'm going to just add the cheese to my food scale until I have 1 ounce or 28 grams. 26. We're getting there, guys. 28. Okay. So this is going to go also in the center of my calzone. And then the last thing that's going to go in the center here is the eggs. And here are my scrambled eggs. They have already cooled, so I can easily just kind of use my fingers to plunk in. All right, and there is a breakfast calzone. I'm gonna go ahead and get this whole plate of them into my air fryer. We'll get these cooked up, and then I will show you the finished product, and we'll put together my entire breakfast for the week. The calzones are in the air fryer. They'll be out in about 15 minutes, and we'll put together our breakfast, but super excited to have these for breakfast. Really hearty, big breakfast for such a low smart point. The calzones are out of the air fryer. Look at how delicious these look. Some of them split open a little bit, but I'm not going to be mad about it. I'm going to get these boxed up in my meal prep containers, and I'll show you my completed breakfast. And here's my completed breakfast meal prep. So delicious. So let's take a closer look here. So I have one of my breakfast calzones here. So the 2-ingredient dough is 3 smart points. The eggs are 0. The sausage is 1. The cheese is 1, so that is a total of 5 smart points. And then I'm pairing that here with a side of grapes. So my entire breakfast is only 5 smart points. For lunches this week, I am going to have taco pie. This is an at Felicia Fitness Health recipe. Super excited to try this. Who doesn't love taco anything? So here's what's in my lunches. So you're going to need some Olay Extreme Wellness wraps or some sort of wrap. If it is higher than 1 smart point per wrap, you do need to increase the points value to accommodate for that. You're going to need a can of tomato sauce, an onion, some chili powder, some fat-free shredded cheese, a pound of extra lean ground beef, and a bag of frozen corn. You do want to thaw it, but you only want 10 ounces. So you're going to put 6 ounces back into your freezer. So this is what is in today's taco pie. So the first thing we need to do is chop our onion. Now you want to chop this fairly fine. So I'm going to get this onion chopped up and we're going to add this to our pan of our 96 4-ground beef. And we are going to cook that down until translucent. So I've got my hamburger and my onions here on the stove, and to that I am going to add in my chili powder. And I would say go ahead and do this to taste. I like my food just barely spicy. Like, I'm a total spicy wimp. So I am just going to put in just a small amount of chili powder, but feel free to add as much as you would like for your particular tastes. And then we just need to get our oven going here because we are going to bake our pie at 375. And I have a convection oven, which is really nice because it does help it cook a little bit more evenly. So I'm going to brown my meat and my onions, and then we'll put together our taco pie. So my hamburger and onions are cooked through. I did drain out any remaining grease. And to this mixture, I am going to add my can of tomato sauce. And I like the Simple Truth or the Hunt's because they don't have any added sugar or any added anything. And then we are going to add in our 10 ounces of corn. I went ahead and just measured the frozen corn out on my food scale and then put it into a container. And so we're just going to mix this up and we're going to just let this simmer for just a few minutes. I am also going to add just a bit of salt and pepper as well. I also decided to go ahead and add a little cumin. I want it to be a little more taco-esque flavor. So this is going to simmer for about 5 minutes and we'll put together the taco pie. All right, let's put together our taco pie. So you are going to need a round baking dish. I'm going to use a pie pan. You are going to need 6 Olay or whatever tortilla you choose wraps. You are going to need 1 cup of fat-free cheddar cheese and then your hamburger mixture. So this is a layer dish. So first off, we are going to put half of our meat mixture in the bottom of our pan. And then this is the base of our taco pie. So it's a 50-50, so half and half basically. So half in the bottom and then about half over the top of the first layer. So there we have some of our meat mixture in the bottom. To that, we are going to go ahead and add 3 of the Olay wraps. And we're just going to pile them on top of each other. And then we are going to add half of our cheese before we add some more of our meat mixture. And then the other half of our cheese, of course, is going to go on top. So we put some cheese, and then we are going to add the remainder here of our meat mixture to this layer of our taco pie. So here's where you can just shovel the rest of what's in the pan on top here. This looks so good. It's going to be a delicious, like, layered lunch. So very hearty, low point. All right, and then we have 3 more remaining wraps, so we're going to go ahead and add those to the top of it. You just want to make sure you get the whole pie dish covered, and it's okay that your wraps kind of overlap each other. And then we're going to add the remainder of our fat-free cheese. Now, you can add additional cheese. Just make sure that you know that anytime that you go over 1/4 cup of the fat-free cheese, it does start to have points. So I have a full cup total amongst all of my taco pie. So it does end up being 0 points. So there it is, you guys. Let's throw this in the oven at 375 and I'll be back to show you the completed lunch. I did forget to mention you do want to go ahead and cover your taco pie with foil. So there you have it. So my taco pie is out of the oven. I realized looking back on the recipe that I didn't make this exactly how she does. She actually puts the meat mixture on the top. And anyways, this is going to be just fine. It's the same ingredients. So you can make yours the way I did or the way that Felicia did in her actual recipe, which of course I will put in the description box below. But look at this, you guys. Look at that layer of taco goodness. I'm going to let this cool so that I can cut it a little bit easier, and then we will put together my lunches for the week. So my taco pie has had the chance to cool. So you can slice this into either 4 or 6 servings. I am going to do it into 6 servings just to keep the points a little bit lower because it is for lunch for 1, and for 2 it is only part of my lunch because I am going to have other things with my lunch as well. So we want to cut each serving equally, or each half, into 3 pretty equal servings, as equal as you can get. And then we're going to scoop this out and put this into our meal prep containers. And this whole slice of taco pie, when cut into 6, is only 3 Smart Points. So I'm going to add a little sour cream to mine as well. So let's get this boxed up for meal prep. And here's my taco pie in my meal prep container. Because the points are so low, and I'm just going to pair that here with some Trader Joe's Brussels sprouts, I am actually going to box up or put in one of my little storage containers 1 Smart Point worth of sour cream, and when I go to eat this, I'm gonna put that on top. So let's get the Brussels sprouts in, and then let's get the sour cream all measured out. So for the Brussels sprouts, I do just add them in frozen. So I'm just going to put a few in each of the little compartments here. And then I always add a little bit of salt and pepper, and I keep a container of spray butter at work. So it makes it really easy to just add a little bit of butter to them as well once I warm them up. And it's best to put your vegetables frozen in your meal prep containers. I find that when you reheat them, it's a lot better. They taste better. They don't get really soggy like fresh vegetables do. So there you have it. I have some Brussels sprouts in all of my meal prep containers. And then let's weigh out some sour cream. So I decided I am going to go ahead and do 2 tablespoons or 30 grams of the sour cream. Instead of just 1 tablespoon, I want it to be a little bit more to add to the top of my taco pie. So there you go. That's 31. That's pretty close. So I put it in these cute little storage containers with a lid. And then I'm just going to shove this into my meal prep. And then before I warm it up, I will pull out the sour cream and just warm up the taco pie and the Brussels sprouts. So let's get the rest of these sour creams good to go. So here are my completed lunches for the week. This looks so good. I'm seriously super excited for lunch tomorrow. But I have 1 serving of the taco pie for 3 Smart Points, and I have 2 Smart Points of sour cream. And again, I'll just pop this out when I go to warm up my lunch. 0 points for the Brussels sprouts. So this portion of my lunch is a total of 5 Smart Points. I'm going to have a Cara orange for 0. And then this is the end of my little bags of Smart Sweets. I'm super sad. But I do have the big bags, which I absolutely love anyways. But I'm going to have 2 of these bags as 1 Smart Point. I do have a discount code for Smart Sweets. I am going to put it down in the description box below. It gives you free shipping. So definitely a low point, delicious after lunch or dinner treat. So this, you guys, is my lunches for the week. For a sweet treat this week for both my husband and myself, he's a cheesecake lover, I'm going to make WW Pound Droppers Lemon Cheesecake. I am modifying the recipe a little bit. I am not using lemon extract because I don't like it. So I'm going to use lemon zest instead. So here is what is in our lemon cheesecake. Non-fat Greek yogurt, a sugar substitute of your choice. I'm going to use Truvia. A box of cheesecake, sugar-free Jell-O pudding. You can also use vanilla. A lemon, because you do need some lemon juice. And again, I am going to use lemon zest. And then we are also going to need some eggs. And then you do need a springform pan, but you can cook this in a regular pie dish as well. So let's get started on our lemon cheesecake. So to get started with our cheesecake, the first thing we're going to do in a small bowl is we are going to add our 3 eggs. I always crack my eggs in a separate container because I always get crumbs in. And then I have juiced a lemon. That's what this is from, is my juicer. A fresh lemon in substitution of lemon juice. And then here I have lemon zest, and this is in substitution of lemon extract. So I'm going to go ahead and add all that in. And again, you can feel free to use lemon extract. I just like lemon in its original form versus in a fake form like an extract. And then lastly, I have a tablespoon here, and we are going to add 3 tablespoons of Truvia or whatever sugar substitute that you want to use. So I'm going to go ahead and add that. And then we are going to beat this together before adding it to our other mixture that has our Greek yogurt. So I have my hand mixer here, and I'm just going to beat this until combined. you just want to make sure that your egg, your sugar, your lemon, everything is nicely combined before adding it to the rest of the Greek yogurt mix. After we've beat our eggs together, I'm going to go ahead and add 3 cups, which I measured out here on my food scale, of the non-fat Greek yogurt. So it's about 680 grams, which is about 3 cups. To that, I'm going to add my sugar-free cheesecake pudding. They also have sugar-free lemon pudding, so I thought that might even be really good. And then here is that egg mixture that we mixed together. So I'm going to go ahead and add that. I am going to use a spatula because I do want to make sure I get all my lemon zest out, because in my opinion, that's actually what adds the best flavor. And then we are just going to get this all mixed together. I'm going to go ahead and preheat my oven as well. And I believe it's 350. If that's incorrect, I'll put it here on the screen for you. But I'm just going to get this mixed together. We'll add this to my springform pan, and then this will go into the oven, and we will come out with a delicious cheesecake. So let me get that springform pan ready, and we'll get this into the oven. Once you have your cheesecake mix combined and a springform pan or whatever pan you're going to use, I'm going to take some non-stick cooking spray, and I'm just going to liberally coat my springform pan. We want to make sure that our cheesecake doesn't stick to it. And then I'm going to just add my cheesecake mixture to my pan, and we're just going to spread this nice and even into the bottom of our springform pan. And this, you guys, it smells so good. And you know what's funny is I was thinking when I was getting ready to make this and, you know, planning my grocery list for the ingredients, I'm like, that's crazy. There is not even cream cheese in this, which is typically what is in cheesecake. So I thought that that was kind of funny. But this, you guys, it looks so delicious. And by keeping the cream cheese out, it of course keeps the points a little bit lower, because as you know, non-fat Greek yogurt does not have points. So we are just going to have to count the points for the pudding mix. So there we go. I'm going to go ahead and give this a nice tap to kind of even that out. And there you have our lemon cheesecake is out of the oven. Look at how delicious this looks. I'm going to let this cool for about 15 or 20 minutes. And then I'm going to pop it out of the spring pan and we'll cover it in saran wrap. And it is supposed to refrigerate overnight. So I don't want to cut it into slices until it's had the opportunity to refrigerate completely overnight. But I am going to put the points on the screen in the clip where I have popped it out of the pan and wrapped it in saran wrap to store in the refrigerator. All right, so my cheesecake has cooled. This is about how thick it is. And on a springform pan, you remove the cover and then you can store it on the actual pan. You can have 1/4 of this cheesecake, 1/4 for only one Freestyle Smart Point. How delicious would this be with a little bit of fat-free Reddi-wip? So I'm going to put this into the refrigerator to cool, and then chances are good I'm going to be having this for dessert tonight. But this is the WW Pound Dropper Lemon Cheesecake. So the snacks that I'm planning for the week. So I don't eat all of these every day, but I am going to plan and prepare and have them available to take throughout the week. So first thing, I'm going to go ahead and cut up some cucumbers and bake those up with some baby carrots. It's best to keep your cucumbers in a glass dish. They last longer. They'll last the entire week that way. And then I'm going to put into one of these little containers here some of the Bolthouse Classic Ranch, and that is what I will dip my vegetables in. I'm going to bring a yogurt, one of these non-fat Greek yogurts for 2 Smart Points. Of course, I'm going to bring my Built Bar. This is my morning snack every day. It's the only thing that keeps me full. And these are 110 calories with 15 grams of protein and only 3 Smart Points per bar. It's a 3 Smart Point candy bar full of protein. So if you haven't already tried these, I do have some discount codes for a sample box as well as a full box. I'm going to leave those in the description box below. And then I'm going to bake up some bombas. 19 of these is 2 Smart Points. So I'm going to bake up individual little baggies of 19 bombas. I will show you what that looks like. And this is what I am planning for my snacks for the week. So here are my snacks ready to go. So you can see here that I have my cucumbers in a glass container. And what I will do is just add them to the bag of carrots and dip the day that I pack them for my lunch. That way the cucumbers stay crisp and fresh all week long. So I have 5 bags of carrots and dip. And then you can see here that I have baked up the Bomba snacks, 19 of them in each bag for 2 smart points. So that's a good amount for only 2 points. So these will get put away and ready for the week to take to work for snacks. Everything looks delicious. Thank you for joining me on this week's meal prep. I hope that I gave you some great ideas of some fun food that you can have for breakfast, lunch, and dessert throughout the week. If you haven't already or you're new to my channel, please take a moment and subscribe. Make sure you hit that notification bell so that you're notified every time I upload a new video. Give this video a thumbs up. Comment below. Let me know what's on your plan for the week for your food. And of course, I'll see you guys all in my next video. Bye!